Test 1 2 1 2. Good evening. Welcome to the Revere Zoning Board of Appeals. If we could rise and salute the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of the members. Mr. Lemonna? Here. Mr. Lopes? Here. Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Pelton? Here. Alternate member Ms. Pratt? Here. And Chairman Tucker?
Here.
Here. Quorum is present. First item on tonight's agenda was continued from the meeting of February 25th. It's application A2604, Cepage Development LLC, 78 Mill Street, Middleton, requesting variances from the ZBA to enable the appellant to construct 2 townhouse dwellings at 661 Washington Ave.
Mr. Chairman, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Members of the Board of Appeals, James Cipolletta, 5 Fremont Street in Winthrop, on behalf of Mr. Cepage, who is here. This is a proposal for townhouses on a lot that is 9,410 square feet, and it contains one building that had suffered a total loss during a fire. So Mr. Cepage has plans to put the townhouses there at the location and replace that two-family house with the townhouse setup. There are 3 areas of relief that are required. One is for a variance from the minimum lot area of 10,000 square feet, so we're only very shy of that. We're 9,410. It's a generous lot on its own. The rear yard setback of 20 feet. That setback does not offend substantially against the neighborhood in the rear of that, and that's that rear yard setback that's noted on the plan. The third one is with respect to the driveway that shall not be within 20 feet of a point of curvature of an intersection. We understand there is driveway there now, and we understand that the city engineer has taken a look at this. We have an engineer as well, and so what would do if there was it was the wisdom of the Board of Appeals to grant the relief, we would hire a safety engineer, make sure that it was designed appropriately, make sure that cars that are entering or exiting the driveways there near the curve in the street could do so safely. As with all projects that get relief from the board, we'd have to go back anyway to make sure that we tie up all of the safety and the health and other regulations, go back to the site plan review people, and they would tell us how we could engineer that better if they felt that it was not substantially improved from its current situation. We do understand that there's a reason for that ordinance, but there is also a remedy for that. And with good engineering and good planning, the site plan review, I am confident and would be happy with that. If there are any questions regarding the zoning, I'm happy to answer them. If there is anything with regard to the building and the materials as well, Mr. Cepage is here to answer those.
Thank you. Seeing that this is a public hearing, I will open it up and ask for proponents. Anyone in favor? From our last meeting, if we could read into the record the letter from Serino.
The proponent from the previous meeting was Jean Serino, 54 Carlson Ave. I submit this letter as the former property owner of 661 Washington Ave, along with my late husband, Richard. I have seen the proposal, and on its face, it looks to be a good use of the land, and I feel it will fit the neighborhood nicely. I've also seen some of the applicant's other projects and feel they complement the neighborhoods, so in this respect, I am a proponent of the project. However, there's one aspect of the proposal I feel a responsibility to address, and that's the proposed new driveway on Washington Ave. I've seen traffic increase over the 30 years I've lived at this address. The intersection of Washington Ave and Malden Street has had its share of accidents, to the point where stop signs and a blinking red light have been added to both directions of Washington Avenue traffic to go along with the stop signs for Malden Street drivers entering Washington Ave. Guardrails have also been added in front of 2 Washington Ave properties, including the project's direct abutter. Cars have jumped the intersection island and caused property damage, including to my own yard. Taking my firsthand experiences into account, the proposed new driveway on the Washington Ave side of the property should be given more thought from a safety standpoint. Not every car from Malden Street comes to a full stop at their stop sign before accelerating onto Washington Ave. And in my opinion, anyone entering or exiting that new driveway is at serious risk of an accident. I understand that since I no longer live there, it ought to be the will of the direct and indirect abutters of the property and the city council to decide what's best for the neighborhood. It's my wish that the proposed project works for everyone. Jean Serino, 54 Carlson Ave.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Press the microphone button once, and it will turn red up on top. Nope, it turns red. So she'll take care of it for you.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Barry Spark. I'm a longtime resident of Revere and a business owner. And the project Mr. Zapaj is proposing.
You have to have your address, please.
My address is residence address 590 Revere Beach Boulevard. My business is United Brokers of Revere, and the address is 283 Cushman Ave.
Thank you.
I saw the proposed project. I support because the building is an eyesore, and not only he will beautify that area, but also adds value to the neighborhood. And I saw his past projects. I support him 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Good evening. State your name
Good
and
afternoon, everyone. Jim McCurry, 193 Crescent Ave, Ward 1 City Councilor. We haven't seen an updated plan on how he's going to do these driveways. One of the driveways is going to be within the 20-feet zone of the curvature of the Washington Ave corner. This corner is one of the busiest intersections in Revere without a street light. And this builder wants to put a driveway close to the corner of that intersection. The petitioner that just came up in front of it that was for this even stated that this is a very dangerous intersection where these townhouses are going to be built on. I looked at the property several times. There's a telephone pole that's going to be away. There's also a fire hydrant down in the, close to one of the proposed driveways. I wonder if the developer is going to move that. But I don't think this is a very good project for the area. I think one townhouse for that would be fine. It's just the driveways are going to encroach onto that 20-foot radius intersection. Thank you.
When you, Counselor, just when you say updated plan, the plan's been on file, so there's no updated plan. The plan on file clearly states.
They came in front of the council with a plan, and we had looked at it, and the council was against this because of the driveways.
Okay, but the plan that's presented to us is the plan.
Is the plan
There's
that's on
no
file right
updated
now.
plan.
Okay, all right.
The one that was filed months ago is the plan that's on file.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Tucker.
Okay.
Good evening,
Good
Councilor
evening.
at Large, Michelle Kelly. I want to say I'm not totally against this project. I generally am in favor of townhouses and single-family homes. So I like to try to support those proposals. However, the concern I have, I'm going to echo what Councilor Mercurio said, is in fact the driveway. We know that even the proponent in her letter mentioned the unsafe driveway. As Councilor Mercurio said, this is one of the busiest intersections in Revere. I'm afraid that if the plan right now, as it is proposed, if it were to be approved, it would create traffic nuisance, more so than what's there right now. That would lead to other maybe traffic changes, a street light, things that the neighborhood is going to have to deal with as a result of this project. So I did, being no expert, I just know that this is not allowed and would need a variance because of it being within the 20 feet. I did reach out to Mr. Nick Rystrom, our city engineer, and he did give me his expert opinion, and I quote, "This would create a very unsafe condition." So I would like this to be something redesigned. If we could keep the driveways on Malden Street, maybe create a shared driveway. I know they're squeezing in the 4 units, that really the lot should accommodate 3. I don't really have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with the driveway, so I'm asking you to please have the applicant go back to the drawing board and see if they can come up with a different solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other opponents? Anyone opposed? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak?
I had a question, but the counselor kind of addressed it about the safety engineer.
Yes, sir.
You guys are going to hire to look
Yes.
at the plan.
Yes, Mario has been in touch with some people because we learned recently of the city engineer's concern. We also heard some concerns from the city council, so a couple of the things that have been floated and would have to make sure that it's the right solution, or part of the right solution is to install some bollards around the appropriate areas on the property and not on the city land, so that we don't interfere with any traffic or pedestrian. One thing I would like to maybe clarify, and my longtime friend, Councilor Mercurio, indicated that the city council was against it. A couple of city councilors said that they had raised some concerns about it. In fact, the ward councilor said that he was in favor of it. So we need to be back before the zoning subcommittee of the city council, because we've already had our initial public hearing, and then we'll have to make further cases there, and then they will make their recommendations back to the full council, as you know, and they'll vote. But, as anything else, these things become sort of evolving plans, not that we're going to change anything materially, but anything that needs to be installed, it's either life safety and those types of issues needs to be addressed. Those will be done and probably conditioned by the city council, because we are asking for special permit.
Right, so is this going to go back to the city council?
It does.
Or back to zoning?
Yes.
The recommendations from the safety engineer?
The city's safety engineer or our safety engineer?
No, your safety.
If they're done by that time. What happened is that because of the cancellation of the hearing due to the blizzard, we actually ended up doing back end first. So we ordinarily would be, in fact, we're mandated to be before the Board of Appeals before we're at the city council. But because there was a cancellation of a hearing, we then ended up at the city council first. And also, I think that last month, there was not a full board, so we opted to take advantage of making our case to the full board. So the full council has heard our presentation. They have referred it to the zoning subcommittee for their recommendations, and then the council will do what they do. But we need to clear the ZBA first before we can get a vote. So right now, we're hanging fire.
Okay.
Any other members?
Yes. So there is a concern. Oh, yeah, there is a concern from the 2 councilors. Is there any chance you guys can go back to the drawing board and work with them?
I'm sure we will, and I'm sure that it's going to be more than the 2 councilors, because the zoning subcommittee tends this session to be fairly active and proactive in asking for things to be firmed up, and so that some of the concerns could be allayed. So yeah, we're happy to work with the councilors. We've already been in contact, even before filing the application, with the ward councilor and worked with him as well. But yeah, I think that's going to be a necessity, indeed.
Okay.
Any other members?
Sure. I'd like to rebuttal with Mr. Sippel. With all due respect, Mr. Sippaletta, the majority of the council was against this project. There were people that were for the project, so I want to just clarify that matter with you. Thank you.
It,
I just have a question. I just have a question for the board in terms of procedurally. If you go ahead and grant this variance, what would we have in terms of leverage to go, for them to go back to the drawing board and do anything if you grant the variance for them to be inside that 20 feet?
you have to vote that it's allowed. It's not a matter of right, it has to be a special permit from the council.
If you guys already grant the variance, it kind of gives them, well, the ZBA said this was okay, so that kind of gives it a disadvantage. So if anything, hold off until we do vote on it.
Well, you can't vote on it first. It comes in front of the ZBA to go in front of the council, from what I'm understanding.
But it was
Is that wrong?
Okay, all right, but
It's not, the council did not vote on it. They
Then
had
I
to put
would-
it in subcommittee because the ZBA didn't take action
then
yet.
I would ask that this be on hold until the discussions with the council take place to try to reconfigure this driveway. Thank you.
We didn't have the opportunity to vote
Ashley, can you please speak on this for procedural events?
The city
for
council
city?
cannot take a vote on the application until, if variances are granted. The city council is voting on the use, not the zoning variances that are being requested.
Well, it's not Mr. Tucker's way it is. It's the way that it's set up. It's unfortunate. We can't make a change to that. Is there any other questions for me?
Yeah, I got a question. Can this be tabled until we see the safety report from the engineers?
The council is this board. We can we can make a motion to continue, and you can continue it if you wish, or you can make a motion to vote on it. It would always be a motion in favor, and then you'd have to decide if you're not voting in favor. But you can make a motion to continue, but that's a board's privilege. What's the wish of the council, on the board?
I think there's confusion on if we vote on it today, does it go back to the council?
Here's the
Yes.
board, just so to make it clear for us, we're not part of the council, so
Right.
to make it very clear for us, if we vote on this and it's approved, the variances are set forth, it would go in front of site plan review, but the driveway would be within the 17 and a half feet from the corner, not 20. That would be a part of this variance and approved.
Right.
If a tree has to be taken down, that's a whole other issue with now it's the city engineer who's the tree warden, they'll make a decision for that. If a hydrant has to be removed, that's DPW, that would be,
So the safety engineer that you guys are hiring to oversee the issues of dangers to the driveway,
Yes.
whatever, that would come after?
Yes.
Okay.
And hopefully we would have, I mean, we're probably going to have a lot of input from the zoning subcommittee. And as the chair and the clerk has indicated, the full city council gets to vote on whether or not the project as a whole is going to go forward or not.
Right. So even if we voted on it today,
Yes,
there's still issues that you guys would have to work out concerning the safety with the engineers?
they already raised it at the public hearing, so I'm sure I'm going to hear about it at the subcommittee.
Okay, got it.
for a point of clarification. The ZBA votes on this tonight, and it's accepted, or voted as an affirmative. The variance for driveways, every variance is approved. It doesn't change after we make a decision. They can't make a change. The site plan review can maybe say where to put a tree, take a tree down, but the variances that are being requested are voted on, and that's it.
Recommendations from the safety engineer.
But it's a recommendation. It's
Right.
Right.
we're approving the plot plan the way it is, that's final. We don't get involved in the city
Got it.
council because the city council is only approving a change from their change
city-
of use.
Can I,
Go
The
ahead.
city council is approving the use. Under the city's zoning, a special permit from the city council is required for a townhouse use in the RB district.
And the city council can issue special permits with conditions.
Okay.
I just want to
I'll
clarify.
allow one more, yeah, go ahead.
So the city council is going to be voting on the use of a townhouse in an RB district. That's it. If you guys approve these variances, we are now voting on a project with those variances that you approved. It is going to be very difficult to try to go back and say, do this differently. Well, why should we? The ZBA already approved the variance for that driveway. So we'd either have to deny the project completely because we don't like this one variance that was approved. That's it. Thank you.
What's the will of the board?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion approved.
There's a motion to approve. Ask for a roll call, please, with the condition.
If the zoning board of appeals approves the application, the variances, the following conditions will apply. One, if the rights authorized by this variance are not exercised within 1 year of the date of the grant of this variance, the right shall lapse. This variance shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan in the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere, and the appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit. Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the relief requested, subject to those conditions? Mr. Lemonna?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Lopes?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Pelton?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Pratt, alternate member? Yes. And Chairman Tucker?
No.
No, the variance has been granted, subject to those conditions. Next application is A2607, which was continued from the February 25th meeting. Broadway 700 LLC, 1040 to 1048 North Shore Road, Revere, Mass., requesting variances to enable the appellant to construct a 20-unit apartment building at 700 Broadway.
Yes, please close it.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening. Members of the board, for the record, Attorney Brian McGrail on behalf of the applicant, Broadway 700 LLC. Jamie Russo, who is a principal of that entity, is with me this evening. By way of summary and a reminder from last month's meeting, the applicant, Broadway 700 LLC, is seeking approval to redevelop 700 Broadway with a residential apartment building, replacing an obsolete structure with a modern, code-compliant, energy-efficient development. As previously presented, the requested variances are necessitated by the property's unique irregular shape, sloping topography, which creates practical difficulties in complying with the dimensional requirements. It would otherwise preclude a reasonable and beneficial use of the site. The proposed project is appropriately located along Broadway, a primary corridor in the city of Revere, and is consistent, very consistent with the surrounding neighborhood, while advancing the city's planning goals of including promoting housing, walkability, and economic activity. With respect to parking concerns that were raised at the last hearing, and that's the reason it was continued to this evening, the applicant has made a good faith effort to engage directly with neighbors without success in doing so. We did, however, have the pleasure this evening of meeting one of the neighbors and exchange contact information. And we're committed to continue to talk with them. In any event, and I think importantly, if the requested relief is granted, my client remains committed to working with the neighbors to address parking concerns in the area to the extent feasible, including providing and paying for resources that might be needed, such as survey work and trying to develop strategies to enhance parking opportunities in that area. He's very committed to doing that, and we expressed that to one of the neighbors tonight. The other thing I think it's important to note is, as it relates to concerns pertaining to the parking, in the event the board grants the requested relief this evening, the applicant, as he always is amenable to the board's standard condition that the property would not be eligible to participate in the city's of Revere's residential or visitor on-street parking permit program. Mr. Russo is very diligent with all of his properties and enforces that vigorously to make sure that he does not rent to people with cars that would have cause problems in the area. So we're cognizant of that and committed to that. And this restriction would obviously help ensure that the project has a minimal impact to on-street parking availability in the neighborhood. For this reason, the applicant respectfully reiterates its request that the board grant the requested variances and approve the project. Happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing that it's a public hearing, I'll ask if there's any proponents. Anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? If you already spoke last month at the meeting, you're already on record. So you do not have to get back up if you spoke last month, because it's already recorded on record. If you didn't speak, you're welcome to get up to the microphone. The microphone's on. You just have to state your name and address for the record and then speak.
Hello, my name is Masha Carabas. I live at 350 Revere Beach Boulevard. And I am thinking about the parking impact that we've already discussed. And the builders have said that they're restricting the rentals of the units to people who don't own cars. So I was thinking that the person signing the lease does not own a car, but do the other people in the household have cars? Also...
I'm going to cut you off for that, just
Yes.
because if they have it and they're living at that address, they cannot get, it doesn't go by the leaseholder, it goes by the property, so nobody can come there and get a parking permit or a guest pass,
I understand.
just so that you're clear on it, just so
Okay.
I'm clear on that. Because
Okay,
other
so-
people can try to do that, you know, oh,
Right.
someone else is living there.
I
If
understand.
the car's registered in, you have to register it in Revere, or after 30 days
So they
you're
know
illegal.
all of the people that are
So the-
living in the unit?
Yes, exactly.
I
The
see.
address is,
Okay, so that
you
does...
can't get it for anything.
That does speak to the parking. I'm also considering the impact of the congestion. The people that live in those units, yes, they may not own cars, or maybe very few of them own cars, but they have to get around. I know you're touting walkability of the area, but you won't be able to walk to Market Basket and back with your groceries. You won't be able to walk to Revere, to Stop and Shop in Revere and come back with your groceries. So they're going to have Ubers or family members pick them up. That's going to add probably just as much congestion as people owning cars who live in that building. Coincidentally, I used to live at 700 Broadway. Now they're calling it an obsolete building, but it's a little house. Maybe 5 people can live there comfortably. A 20-unit building would probably reduce the amount of trees and grass in that area to none. And I'm thinking maybe the building would not be a suitable addition because it doesn't really look like any other buildings in the area. There are a lot of still residential lots in the neighborhood, including my sister. Now I go back and forth to see her or pick her up, and I look up at 700 Broadway while I'm waiting on the traffic that's sometimes moving at a glacial pace at between the Cushman Ave, Malden Street, and Revere Street intersections, and I can't imagine adding any more congestion to that area, that neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. there anyone else opponent? You're already on record then. If you spoke, it's already on record.
I'm not. Hi,
Name and address on the record, please.
my name is Colleen Russo, 12 Malden Street, Apartment 1, Revere, Mass. Okay, so the owner of the house from 3 years ago that we're talking about, not the most recent owner, sold it last year to the investor or company, told me that he wanted to convert his house into a two-family home and that he would apply for a permit at City Hall. He also mentioned that if the permit was not approved, he would sell the property, and he did, because according to him, the permit was denied. This caught my attention because a Revere resident was not allowed to convert their home into a two-family property, and now the city is considering evaluating a request to build a 20-unit apartment building in the same neighborhood, which would definitely have a great negative impact rather than a positive or economic one. I do not have anything in writing to confirm this conversation, which took place about 3 years ago. I strongly urge the city not to approve the construction of a 20-unit building here. This neighborhood is primarily residential, designed for family living, privacy, and community harmony. Approving such a large building would negatively affect traffic and congestion, create safety risks for children, increase parking shortages, overwhelm already overpopulated schools, and reduce overall quality of life. It would also be out of scale with surrounding homes, putting family-oriented properties at a disadvantage. Existing streets, parking, and utilities were not designed to handle this level of density, which could lead to long-term infrastructure problems. Additionally, approval could set a precedent for future developments that conflict with the residential nature of the area. Environmental concerns such as increased runoff, flooding, and strain on local water systems are also significant. Excuse me. As residents and taxpayers of Revere, we respectfully request that our concerns be taken seriously and that approval be denied for a building of this size. We have nothing against the investor and recognize his right to apply for a permit, but there are many other properties in Revere that are more suitable for this type of development. Locations that would not interfere with family life or community growth. He has already been approved to build in other areas that are more appropriate. We hope that our request will be carefully considered. So I have 12 potential negative consequences if this 20-unit building is approved. 1, loss of privacy for
You have
existing.
just 30 seconds. On your-
Okay. Loss of privacy for existing residents, decreased property values, and may make it hard to sell. Safety concerns for families with young children, unclear number of bedrooms in the new building, increased traffic and congestion and potential overcrowding in the building, traffic and congestion, difficulty entering and exiting our driveways, insufficient parking for both residents and visitors, especially during winter or peak hours, flooding, drainage issues, negative impact quality of life, straining on the population, increased garbage and waste management, possible conflicts with existing commercial residential spacing if the building includes mixed uses, additional pressure on traffic lights and local street infrastructure. And just I took a video today, but I only doing it. That congestion in that area is awful. And that was just at 2:45 after school. And even with the crossing guard.
Okay, I'm sorry you've reached your time frame, but thank you for your testimony. Are there any other opponents? Anyone else wish to speak?
I just want to say, I was the gentleman who mentioned about meeting somebody that was literally 20 minutes ago here. So we just exchanged contracts about what they can do.
Okay, you can take that up after, because since it's a public hearing, I have to keep this going. Are there any other opponents? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? What is the will of the board?
Okay, I have to ask a question.
No, I was just making sure that the developer were meeting with some other folks, and to the last, I remember the gentleman here concerned about his parking and what time he comes home and when he has to leave. So it sounds to me that Jamie had discussed something with him. But I wanted to ask the builder, if I could, in
You're
regards to what was discussed.
Thank you, members of the board. Jamie Russo, Broadway 700 LLC, 1040 North Shore Road, Revere, Massachusetts. I spoke to the gentleman at 698 Broadway, who was our direct abutter, whether something got lost in the mail or not. We originally had sent him letters to buy his property, and that wasn't responded to as well. Spoke to Ty, I'm not sure of Ty's last name. Many of you know me, many in this community know me. When I say we're going to meet and do what we need to do to try to help this gentleman get some off-street parking, I've had conversations with the city already. We're committed to do that. Anything that we can do or we say that we're going to do, I mean, there's 30 years of history in this community of us doing what we say we're going to do. So if any board members have any questions, I'd be happy to answer relative to the project.
What's the will?
Motion to approve?
A motion to approve, but that's for a roll call with our standard conditions?
If the variance is awarded, the following conditions will apply. If the rights authorized by this variance are not exercised within 1 year of the date of the grant of this variance, the right shall lapse. This variance shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan in the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere. The appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit, and the property shall not be eligible for participation in the city of Revere's residential and visitor on-street permit parking program. Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the relief requested subject to those conditions? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Yes, Mr. Lopes? Yes. Yes, Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Pelton? Yes, Ms. Pratt, alternate member? Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
No.
No, the variance has been granted subject to those conditions.
Next calendar item number, didn't we already voted on, right? The 2610, I thought we voted on allowing it to come back in front of us, correct? I just want to make that, was it continued? All right. If they both were continued, then we have to bring that up first. Beautiful, okay. Okay, could I
This-
just ask, since we have to... Okay, the next calendar
The
item
next
number.
agenda item is as it relates to application A2610 pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 16. The ZBA will take a vote to make a determination whether specific and material changes have been made to the application for 18 to 22 Green Street.
Mr. Chairman, good evening, members of the board.
Good evening.
Joseph Cottogio, 1 Sprague Street, Revere, representing the applicant Richlow Development LLC. As indicated, we are here before you after a successful application through the planning board in which we submitted items that indicated material changes to the previous application. We detailed 3 substantial material changes, any one of which the planning board had indicated would have been sufficient enough to approve the reapplication. Collectively, we believe that it is a substantial material change more than sufficient to receive your grant to go forward. Those changes are an implementation of a roof deck, 1,000 square feet, that addresses the variance for open space. It may eliminate the need for that variance altogether, but we'll leave that. It does greatly increase the open space. It's located on the roof. You can see it on the plan here. We have also, the second change is we've also moved the entire building back further away from Green Street by an additional 5 feet. We know that there was concerns about the width of the street and the location of the property. So we have moved the location back. And also, we have reduced the number of units from 29 to 28, giving us a better ratio on parking, giving us less density, and allowing us to also stage the floors above the parking. I don't know if you can see here, all the way to the back. so
Okay,
that
just, you're
it
going to be
lowers the
doing
income.
more of a presentation,
Yeah.
but our first thing is to.
So those three are the changes that we
have to vote
submitted.
to determine
Yes.
if there was whether specific changes were made so that we can grant it. So how would we put this for?
Yep, as a question to the board.
So I would ask if the board would be in favor of the substantial changes for the application of 18 and 22 Green Street. And a roll call, please.
Does the ZBA agree that specific and material changes have been made to the application for 18 to 22 Green Street? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Yes. Mr. Lopes? No. Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Pelton? No. No. Ms. Pratt? No. And Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the request fails. The board finds that specific and material changes have not been made.
How can it not be made if you reduce the number of units, added a... How is that possible? This is just beyond belief. Come on, guys, it looks a little funny.
The-
That's really...
So do we go on with the next thing, or it overrules the next calendar item number? All right, our next calendar item number is A26-11.
Opened up a little bit more,
Next.
a little bit deeper into everything. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. You know? Just saying. Good work.
Okay, calendar item A, okay.
Next application is A2611, Parkway Homes Owner LLC, 235 Bear Hill Road, Suite 300, Waltham, Mass., requesting a variance of Revere Revised Ordinances, Section 17-24010, with respect to minimum frontage requirement of 150 feet within the TED district to enable the appellant to consolidate parcels of land known as 2 Pratt Street, 12 Pratt Street, 16 Pratt Street, and 418 Revere Beach Parkway, and subdivide the land into 2 lots, Lot 1 and Lot 2. On the newly created Lot 1, the appellant proposes to construct a mixed-use development as duly approved by the Revere City Council, and Lot 2 is to be preserved in an undeveloped state for separate use.
Am I correct that even if the applicant is asking for a withdrawal, it's still a public hearing? We have to open a public hearing, or no?
Been advertised, the request for withdrawal was made after the first advertisement.
Okay. So, seeing that there was this was already advertised, I do have to, if you want to step up to the microphone, state your name and the record, we do have to open a public hearing. And then,
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Nancy O'Neill. I am an attorney located at 14 Proctor Avenue. I represent the applicant in this matter, Parkway Homes Owner LLC. As set out in our letter of March 23rd, we would respectfully request to withdraw this matter without prejudice. Thank you.
seeing that it is a public hearing, I will ask if there's any proponents. Anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Are there any opponents? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. There's a request to withdraw. Is it without prejudice? Could I ask for a roll call, please?
Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the petitioner's request to withdraw the application without prejudice? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Pelton? Yes. Ms. Pratt? Yes. And Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the applicant's request to withdraw without prejudice has been granted. And last application on the agenda is a special permit, A2612, Fabio Casco Garcia, 5 Eastern Ave, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit from the ZBA pursuant to Section 1740040 to enable the appellant to alter and extend the pre-existing non-conforming two-family structure by constructing a 2-story rear yard addition to expand the living area of the two-family structure and incorporate a dimensionally compliant accessory dwelling unit at 5 Eastern Ave.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Matt Graves, attorney at 14 Proctor Avenue. And I represent the applicant in this matter, Mr. Fabio Casco Garcia. He's the owner of 5 Eastern Avenue. Believe architect is here, architect Eric Zackerton, in case you have any technical questions. So first displayed here is the property in its current state, Victorian-style home, originally constructed in 1900, in need of repairs and improvements. The applicant is proposing to add a small addition to the rear. The addition is marked in red here. A small addition as well as a porch. This is going to expand the living space of the primary living units, and the existing half-story attic will be converted into an ADU. ADU units are, of course, allowed by right in the RB district where the property is located. The base footprint of that addition is just 12.5 by 14.5 feet for a total of 464 square feet over the 2.5 floors. And the porch is just 60 square feet. It's just under 12 feet by 5 feet. The interior addition itself meets all setback and other requirements of the zoning code. However, the porch is going to be too close to the side yard setback. The porch is going to be 1.2 feet, just like the existing portion of the house. So that is what brings us here in search of a special permit to allow these modifications to an existing non-conforming structure. As noted in the applicant's support letter of March 17th, 2026, which I hereby incorporate by reference, a special permit for the reconstruction, extension, or modification may be granted on the finding that the modification will not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming structure to the neighborhood. This project easily meets that standard and exceeds it. This project will be an overall improvement to the property and the neighborhood. This is a 125-year-old building. It will include new safety measures like an added stairwell, so there'll be 2 stairwells that get you all the way up to the 3rd floor. The addition will blend nicely with the neighborhood and existing structures. And again, as noted earlier, that addition is really not going to be visible. It's going to be in the back of the building. It may be visible from one side through a parking lot. But overall, this is not going to change the character of the building or the neighborhood. Where visible, all it will do is enhance the image of the building. So there's no detriment to any of the neighbors or the neighborhood. In closing, small addition to the rear of the building with an attached rear porch. It requires a special permit because we're modifying an existing non-conforming structure, and that porch is still within the side yard setback. And our office spoke with board counselor Anthony Cogliandro, and he did not have any issues with the project. So I'm happy to take any questions you have.
Seeing that it's a public hearing, I have to open it up to proponents. Anyone in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Anyone opposed? Seeing and hearing none, I close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? I just do have a question as the plan comes to us. The plan of land really doesn't depict the total outline. So the proposed addition that you're putting on there, it goes right to the lot line of the property in the back?
So this portion here is, so it's this square is the addition, okay? The red rectangle on the right is the porch. I can pull up. Does that make more sense?
Well, if you just, I got to zoom in on that one there from the TV screen, but the red part is the porch that you're adding,
Just this right part of on the right.
right?
Is the porch.
So you're staying in line with the home, but since you
Yeah.
did that,
Yeah,
and right
because
next to
that's
it is the
within-
parking lot, am I
Yeah.
correct? The parking lot's right next to that.
Yeah, so this addition would be back here, so you'd be looking right through the parking lot at it, yeah.
All right, I just wanted to make that
Yeah.
clear, that we were dealing
Sorry,
with
that
the
wasn't
same
clear
one,
before.
since it wasn't depicted next to it with the trees or
Yeah.
anything else. Okay. Any members wish to speak? That would,
Okay.
okay, I would ask for a motion to approve with our standard conditions.
If the special permit is awarded, the following conditions will be applied. If the rights of this special permit are not exercised within 2 years of the date of the grant of this special permit, the rights shall lapse. This special permit shall not be valid until the appellant has recorded this variance and plan on the Suffolk County Registry of Deeds and submits document recording numbers and dates to the city clerk and building inspector of the city of Revere. And the appellant must receive site plan review approval prior to applying for a building permit. Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the relief requested in the special permit? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. O'Brien is absent. Mr. Pelton? Yes. Ms. Pratt? Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has been
Yes.
granted.
Thank you.
Chairman Tucker, in reviewing, if we could just go back to the the Green Street A2610, just reviewing the law, it says that no appeal which has unfavorably and finally acted upon by the zoning board of appeals shall be acted favorably upon. So it says that the ZBA can't act favorably upon it. So there should be some action by the zoning board of appeals for that particular application. It just can't be a favorable action. That's how I'm reading it.
So we have to take up a 2610 for a vote.
I would think so. I
So-
would think so unless it's left on the agenda and the zoning board of appeals receives legal opinion from the solicitor.
Can we remain on the agenda to receive a legal
Sure.
opinion? Having no further business, our next meeting will be April 20. Yep. April 29th. Next meeting will be April 29th. Yes. Motion to adjourn. Thank you.